Hey gems, welcome back to my channel. My name's Imani. Today we're gonna have a little history lesson on some people in the world's favorite holiday, Valentine's Day, because we all want love, okay? Now I just want you guys to know that I did my research and I want you to do your research, so don't take my word for it, go look for it. And I also, in this research that I was doing, I realized that pagans know, people who celebrate these holidays, they know that Christianity covered it up. But what's crazy is that Christians don't know that it's a cover-up. Like we're just like blind. But let's get into it. We are gonna start from the beginning. Before it became Valentine's Day, it was called Lupercalia, or however else you want to pronounce it. So what is Lupercalia?
So I'm editing this video, and as I'm looking for images and things like that to put, I realized like this is literally everywhere. So one of the images that I found is from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And in the episode, they were celebrating Lupercalia. And it's like, all of these things are in our faces, but yet we are very oblivious. It's like we just don't want to see it. We don't want to accept that these traditions that we grew up knowing, that we grew up doing, it's a lie. And it's a paganistic ritual. It has paganistic roots. We don't want to change our ways. We want to be stuck in our ignorance. Okay? So that's all. Bye.
So before it became Valentine's Day, it was called Lupercalia. Lupercalia, a Roman pagan holiday of blood, sacrifices, sexual, random coupling, just random matchmaking, and trying to ward off evil spirits. It's always about evil spirits, okay? So I do have some notes if I see looking down, because I want to make sure I'm delivering this correctly. So Lupercalia is about these two twins. It started off with these two twins. So now there was this Roman king who had a sister, and the sister broke her vow of celibacy, and when she broke her vow of celibacy, she ended up getting pregnant with twins, Romulus and Remus. And the uncle was like, you know what, to punish your mother, I'm gonna drown these kids. So the servant who was put in charge of throwing these kids in the river decided to put the kids in a basket. And in the putting of the basket, he was praying to the river gods, like, don't let them die, blah, blah, blah. River god, I guess, decided to listen, and the kids ended up getting stopped by like a fig tree. And in that moment of waiting, a she-wolf came, Lupus. So the she-wolf came. The she-wolf was living at a base in the cave where Palatine Hill. That's where Rome was founded. Now the she-wolf took care of these kids as if it was theirs, and eventually a shepherd and his wife took the twins, and then the twins went off to kill their uncle who tried to kill them. In honor of the she-wolf, they found the cave where the she-wolf took care of them, and called that cave Lupercalia. Lupercalia is said to be a festival to honor the she-wolf and the god of fertility, Lupercus. So now these sacrifices were taking place at the cave, and the sacrifices of goats and I think it was a dog. Yeah. The male goat to represent fertility, and a dog. What? And then the Luperci, Roman priests, were the ones taking great pride in being a part of this sacrifice. So they would sacrifice the male goat, and they would take the blood, red, Valentine's Day, and they would spread it across their forehead. Mind you, they're doing all of this naked or like in their undies. So spread it across their head, and then in order to symbolize purification, they would take wool dip it in milk and wipe it off. And I don't get it. I don't get it, okay? So while they were wiping this milk off their head, they were supposed to be laughing. I don't get it. So the leprosy would then cut a hide from the goat that was sacrificed, and the hide was called a thong or a February. And they would go around Palatine smacking girls with some love taps in hopes that the year would bring them love and fertility. So after the love taps were going around, and girls wanted it, okay? They wanted this because they wanted to be loved. Don't we all? We want to be loved. Another thing that would happen is that guys would do this lottery thing, and they would pick out names from, I'm gonna say a hat, okay? I doubt it was a hat. And that would be who they were shacking up with or getting freaky with for the next year until the next Lupercalia came around. And that's the story of Lupercalia. Now let's talk about the other half of it, which is the Christianized, the Catholicism of it all. In Catholicism, there is believed to be two different saints or two different Valentines that this could be named after. The first is a Valentine that was to be killed by, I think his name was Claudius, right? And he wanted to kill him because he was trying to convert him, and he was also trying to marry off Christians who were in love. The Valentine was also going to be killed by Claudius. He fell in love with the jealous daughter, and before his death, he wrote a letter to her, and it says, "From your Valentine." So of course, what Christians, Catholics, who influence a lot of our traditions today, what Catholics decided to do, like, Lupercalia is way too out there. So what we're going to do, even though we still want to celebrate it, we still want it to be great and live, we're just gonna cover it up with Saint Valentine's. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna name this Valentine dude a martyr, one of them, whichever one it was. We're gonna name him a martyr, and then we are going to say February 14th is the day that we're going to celebrate him to cover up for Lupercalia. So red is for the blood sacrifice, white is for the milk, and Cupid somehow threw himself in the mix. He is a Roman son of Mercury and Venus, and he obviously shoots arrows. So I personally, I'm not sure, I didn't find that in my research, think that Cupid was to take the place of the high that they would love tap people with. Now I just wanted to ask you, do you actually know what you're celebrating when you participate in all these holidays? Because Yah said, "You shall have no other gods before me." And Valentine's Day, Lupercalia, is sacrifices to, Lupercus, the god of fertility, and to other animals. You're sacrificing not to Yah, not to the Most High. And it says there's so many, there's a few, I want to say at least 7, I think, holy days that Yah says, this is what I want you to celebrate. This is what I want you to participate in. And never ever was Valentine's Day mentioned. So let me ask you this. Do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Do you know the history of what you're celebrating? And if you do you still choose to celebrate Valentine's Day? Or are you willing to go into Torah and learn the holy days that God has set apart for us to celebrate? Before you participate in any of these traditions that was just passed on to you, do your research and look into it and figure out, what is it that I'm celebrating? What is this? Does it have pagan roots? Because a lot of them do. And I'm pretty sure you can go on TikTok and put Lupercalia and all the witches and will tell you it's a pagan holiday that Christians try to steal from us. So go do your research and Tell me, are you gonna still celebrate Valentine's Day after knowing this? Let me know in the comments. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, let your girl know how you feel, and I'll see you next time. Bye, gems. Eli, no.